Barca 4-5, Real Madrid 13-10, Atleti next at 16, and then Betis are the best of the rest at 66. Do you think there'll be a clear gap between Real Madrid and Barcelona and the rest this coming season? 9 points of a difference when Jose won the title back in 2012. Are these two clearly, with the managers they have, far better than everyone else in the league, or will Atleti have something to say about that?
It feels like every single year, Mark, we get excited about a 3-horse race in the Liga, don't we? And then it ends up being the 2 come March or so. That's the big challenge for Atleti, is to make sure their title challenge doesn't run out of gas in March, to be there in April or May. Of course, the big question for Atleti, this isn't that conversation, but is about Julian Alvarez. Will he still be there at the start of the season? I think Atleti are still a little way behind. In terms of the big 2, let's not forget that, the gap for most of last season, there wasn't a huge gap. There was by the end, but for most of the season, it was relatively close between Madrid and Barca, despite Barca kind of being significantly better. It feels there's a big margin for improvement for Mourinho at Real Madrid on what we saw last season. I expect it to be close between those 2. I do think in the end, as is so often the case, there will be a gap between those 2 and the rest.
I was looking at the 2011-2012 season, Don, and when you look at the goals that they scored, Real Madrid got 121 goals and Barcelona got 114. It's like that season when Pellegrini was in charge at Real Madrid and had an unbelievable season and still didn't win the league. Are you expecting them under Mourinho, Don, to be even more exciting than they can be?
Yeah, because I think they'll be harder. I think they'll be tougher. As I said before, I joked about the red cards, but it's something that Real Madrid probably need. They need to be tougher. They need to stay in games. They need to show they've got the fight of the old Real Madrid sides when the likes of Pepe and Ramos played in those sort of sides. I think from Barca's point of view, I think Anthony Gordon's going to be a great signer for them because he's a pressing machine. So he's going to be great on the front foot. Rafinha might play a little bit sort of more through the middle. So when you look at the options that they've got with Yamal at the top end of the pitch and in midfield, I think they'll win the league as we sit here today before any more Real Madrid signings. But I definitely expect Real Madrid under Jose to be more competitive and have more bite.
So Don Hutchison going for Barcelona on a Real Madrid preview podcast is brave on ESPN FC Live. Not as brave as if Alex Kirkland goes for Barcelona, which I don't think he's going to do. Are you? What's your prediction for this season?
It's not happening. It's not happening. I don't think Real Madrid go 3 years without winning the title. It never happens. It never happens. Now let's wait and see. If Rodri comes in, if Diomande comes in, if Vinny stays or not, all those things are going to be significant, of course. But I think Real Madrid might do it. It's not to say I think Mourinho would have been my dream appointment. He wasn't. I would have tried, if possible, to get Jurgen Klopp if you could do that. But I think that with what they've done this summer, I think they put themselves in a really good position. And I think Madrid might just pit Barca to the title.
Okay, final question. Looking at his history as a manager, he doesn't do more than 3 years anywhere. He did 3 years at Real Madrid. He's done 3 years nearly at Roma. He doesn't do 3 years. Chelsea just above 3 years. Given he's got where he wants to be, and I don't think there's another job now for Jose Mourinho. This is where he wants to be. What chance of Jose Mourinho, Don, still being at the Bernabeu in 3 years' time?
3 years or 3 months?
Wow.
Because it totally depends on how that dressing room takes him. Honestly, it's as simple as that. If they take to him, they listen to him, there's a chance he could be successful. There's a chance he turns Real Madrid around again, as Alex said, and be champions and get closer and win the Champions League again. That's what they crave and that's what they demand. They demand to be competitive. But it all depends on that dressing room. It's as simple as that. If they take to him, they listen to him, he could be there for 3 years. If they don't, he'll be gone.
I'd probably take the under, Alex. What would you do?
Let's say, as I said, champions in his first season, falls apart spectacularly in his second season, falls out with everybody, and doesn't make it to the end of, or maybe makes the end of the second year, but not beyond that. I think, like you say, 3 years is the absolute max. It seems like for Mourinho. I'll go for 2 years and done.
I can also see him if he is able to get number 16 as far as European Cup Champions League is concerned. I just think he kind of takes the microphone, drops it, and walks off into the sunset. I'm Jose Mourinho. Good night.